Good afternoon, everyone. Good to be here again. My name is Todd Rains, and welcome to another live stream that I do here in my shop in Allen, Texas. Every second Friday at 2:30 in the afternoon, unless I'm preempted by something else. So welcome. And in the intro, I said hi to a few people. Paul and Ian from overseas. We had Ronald and Steve. So thanks for joining, folks. And there's many more. So Michael, Mark Gist, a friend from local here. Brian, good to have you here. Ken War, Dave Piper. Lots of people I recognize the names. Jerry, good to have you here. Friend Cindy. Cindy, thanks for joining. And a wonderful hot summer day in Erie. Yeah, it's pretty warm here. So I've been in the 95s here over the last week. We had a bit of rain, which is nice. There's something different about the interface here and I'm looking at. So good to have you here. And it is warm in Texas. Hopefully, wherever you are, you're enjoying the weather, enjoying the summer. I'm just hoping at some point it'll cool down and I know it's coming, but yeah, it's just kind of gets tiresome after a while. I've got a fan going in the background here because it's a little warm in the shop. Trying to not use the AC here all the time. It's expensive. Mike, good to have you here. Thank you. Bob, our friend Joe Fleming, good to have you here. Joe, Jim, David Perez, thank you. And lots of other people joining. Jim, Bob Elliott, good to have you here. Philip, another UK friend, thanks for joining, Philip. Richard, good to have you all here. So, yeah, so like I said, we do this every couple of weeks. We'll talk more about some other stuff coming up. Today we're talking about tool rests. I think I've done one of this last year, but I had a couple of customer inquiries over the last couple of weeks asking about tool rests and stuff. So I wanted to talk about them a little bit and just kind of show the variation I've got and a couple of solutions that one guy asked about. We talked on the phone for a while, and then another turner out of I think North Carolina. Anyway, she was looking for different solutions for her tool rest, so we got through some of those questions too. So I wanted to bring that forward and just kind of talk about those. We'll see. I might get into some turning here at the end to put some of those tool rests to use. I'll show you what I have on my, that I use most commonly, and a bunch of tool rests I have sitting around that I don't use that often, but come in handy. So let's take a look at that. Let me shrink down to the corner and take a look. First of all, as we always say, get a hold of me if you have questions. I'm always available via email or the contact form on the website, or if you're in the US, phone call would work as well. Cindy does a live stream every 2 weeks, opposite of mine. So sign up for Cindy's email, cindydroser.com, and sign up, and you'll get notified when she's going live. Just like I do with my newsletters, those help a lot. So she'll be up. Are you on next week, or do we have the sharing session next week? I think we have the sharing session next week, so that'll be fun. Speaking of sharing session, that's what's coming next. So Friday, August 2nd, which I think is a week from today, Cindy and I hold these Zoom sessions that allow you guys to join, show off your turnings and stuff like that, and share some ideas on different tips and tricks with wood turning. It's just a good time to hang out, talk for an hour, and do some show and tell and answer questions. So this is a Zoom meeting. You'll get the Zoom meeting link by signing up to our newsletter, a QR code up there for my newsletter. You can go to Cindy's news webpage and sign up for hers as well. Friday, August 2nd, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern. So different than my time. This is typically Cindy's live stream. And instead of her live stream, we're doing this. So check that out. Should be a lot of fun. And then let's see. Whoa. Let's what do we have coming next? SWAT Symposium. So if you are, what did that do? Oh, I see. I clicked the wrong thing, Todd. If you are in the desire or need to get to meet a bunch of wood turners and talk wood turning and see a bunch of demos, come to SWAT. It's the greatest event of wood turning, I think, because it's friendly, inexpensive, and fun, and you get food with your ticket. So that's always nice. So check that out. That is August 23rd, 24th, 25th in Waco, Texas, middle of Texas. Best of flying to Dallas and trip down there, or go to Austin and drive up, one of the two. And just catching up on chat here. Cindy's dropping links to our sharing session. Subscribe to those newsletters, and you'll get the Zoom link in email. So thank you, Cindy. That covers me right up. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I'll just hide down here. Anyway, all right. So that's the sharing session. This is Waco. In, I guess that's about 5 weeks from now, thereabouts. So after that, in September, about 5 weeks after Waco, yeah, I think so, is Loveland, Colorado, is doing the Rocky Mountain Wood Turning Symposium, 27th to the 29th of September. This is a fun one to go to. It's a smaller show, just as friendly, and maybe, I don't know if it's any easier to get to, but yeah, it's a great show. I go up there to that one. We're a vendor up there. Obviously, we're a vendor at SWAT, and so we'll be there and supporting all the demonstrators, supporting other vendors and members up there. So check those out. Those are going to be a lot of fun. So let's see. What do I have next? I have to look. What else is happening today? The Olympics. So the Olympic ceremony, 2024 Summer Games, kicks off today. It's partly going on. I'm actually kind of thrilled that I've got some folks here from the UK and overseas. I think the ceremonies are happening right now, live. I'm not sure. I think I'm close to that. May have already started. I'm not quite sure. Paul or Ian or Philip, if you guys know, I don't know that time zone. Paris, I think, is 1 hour more than you guys. I'm not quite sure. If they're going live, I in the US, I think we're going to see is time delayed. You can stay up. I think if you pay for it, you can watch them live. I'm a big Olympics guy. I like watching them, gymnastics and some of the other ones. I do like watching the weightlifting for some reason. It's just incredible the kind of amount they lift. Joe says right now. I can't see what that says. That's too small for me to read. On right now, muting Todd. Nice. Thanks, Joe. No, that's a good choice. It's one of those things that I do enjoy watching. So I am surprised to have these people showing up here today. Opening ceremony going on right now. It's raining in Paris right now. Okay. Well, unfortunately, and I heard some sad news about some, I don't know what it was, but trains being upset and stuff like that. So impacts from social unrest or who knows what it was. I'm not quite sure. But this is a photo of the Olympic rings I turned about 6 years ago. Little wooden rings. It's on a board. I put the link in my email that just went out. And so it was just a silly little project, kind of dorky, but it was fun to do. I know I'm going to probably get some people saying, well, you can't really use the Olympic rings. It's a trademark symbol and all that stuff, blah, blah. Yes, I agree. This is not a commercial product. This is not being sold, but I'm showing you my craft. So there you go. Thank you for those telling me that the Olympics are on. I appreciate it. And hopefully you guys watch. Let me know what your favorite event is. Things like that. I know a lot of people like the swimming. Wasn't a big swimmer myself. I have been watching the diving, or last time they were on. That's kind of fun too. It's kind of scary. Anyway, enough of that. On and on. July is turning tool month at Robust Tools, so I thought I'd help Brent out. This is last couple of days. If you're looking for turning tools, any of his turning tools and the True Arc system are on sale. True Arc system is on sale here as well to the end of the month. I don't have any in stock right now, but I will get them to you as soon as possible. I'll probably drop ship from Brent if that's the case. Last week, 2 weeks ago, I did the True Arc demonstration, the setup and use, and how to do that. And we turned this guy. So, or at least I turned this guy, and I finished turning it. Let me get another camera view here. Overhead works. Yep, there we go. So this is, you can see the lights reflecting in there, and you can see if I rock this the right way, the light reflections of the LED strips above me have a nice uniform pattern throughout the whole bowl. And that's the idea, is if this had any sort of wavering of bumps or different sort of shape to it, then that reflection would not be quite the same. So this is not quite a super high gloss finish, but it's getting there. This is two or three coats, maybe 2 coats of water locks. So there is the side profile. Let me get a better side. Than I got that big stain down there. It's just a stain from the. It's kind of pretty going through, but just to get you a better perspective on the scale and stuff and how that works. And let me just do this and focus up top here a little bit. You can kind of see the rim detail and the foot detail are a little bit of a chamfer, if you will, like that. So that's kind of nice, and I've matched the profile here. Only the True Arc only does the inside, doesn't do the outside. The outside is up to your discretion. And there's the big foot. So nice piece of ash, a little branch sticking through there from somewhere. I don't know quite, but some nice little ripple grain in it up here. So I was quite pleased with how it turned out. So that was ash with the True Arc system. And then earlier this week, I got some more of the burr oak that I have sitting in my yard. This is 400 or 500-year-old tree that came down in our neighboring city, Plano, and got several chunks of it. So I've been turning it. And yes, if you look at that right, that is quite warped. This is, let me just, yeah, that's pretty good focus. So that is pretty much a full 6 inches or 150 some odd millimeters that way, but not quite that way. So it's warped quite a bit, but it's held together, hasn't cracked. This stuff cracks like the dickens. I've been having some email exchanges with Cindy about my experiments and what's gone wrong and stuff. This little one I turned a little bit thinner. This is probably about 3/16 thick. This is down to about maybe 1/16 up top here, a little bit thicker at the bottom, and it's warped quite a bit, but it's held together. So what I've learned with this stuff is it's basically going to be turning green to final dimensions, I think, with what I've got so far with this burr oak. I've tried anchor seal and sawdust and cardboard boxes and all of those all at the same time, and some at different rates, and still ends up cracking. So experiment with your wood if you got lots of it. See what works, what doesn't work. Here's some quarter sawn plate blanks that have not warped at all or done too much damage, so those are good. I've got some bigger ones stored away, and some smaller rounds I haven't turned yet. But this burr oak is just beautiful stuff. The grain in it is just amazing. So I've got a couple of logs of some other tree out in the driveway that my wife is wanting me to get moving, and I will eventually. So we're going to keep this platform up here. We're going to take a look at some tool rests. So let's see, what did I finish off? So check that sale out. Here is one of the pictures from one of the people that was asking about tool rests, and She was working on some of her first bowl turning, so she needs something to kind of reach in there. So the Dre rest worked. I forget exactly what she was looking for to begin with, but this was the solution I think we sent her and stuff, and she's quite pleased with it. So that's good to know. So if you have questions about tool rests and stuff, please, by all means, take a look at the website. This is the tool posts and adapters, tool rest, tool posts. So we got some on the wrong page here. I got to move over to the other website, the page. Scroll down and you can see all the robust tool rests and stuff that I carry in stock. I don't carry all of them, but certainly do that. But if you look at one, if I click in there, they have these documents. I have these 2 documents in here. Boy, that's hard to read for me. I can't read that. Tool rest dimensions and the selection panel. So those 2 documents help you decide what size tool post, what length of tool post, and maybe some of the other dimensions of the tool rest. So those are there. So yeah, check that out. So let's get back to the overhead. We'll take a look at some of the tool rests. Let me just check the chat here. I got my mouse way over there. Oval bowl chuck. So yeah, this is it's a great thing. If you want an oval bowl, you can either spend the money for that huge sort of oval bowl chuck thing that I think a Vermec makes, or just turn some oak and turn it once and let it dry. That's one way to go about an oval bowl. So true arc on those 2 turnings? No. The 2 small oak bowls were not done by the true arc. Just the big ash one. So good question, though. I should have clarified that. Cracked oak bowls are great candidates for butterfly inlays. Oh, well, good. I don't do a lot of butterfly inlays anymore. I used to do a lot of flat work, but great question or suggestion, Greg. So yeah, absolutely. If you've got some oak, it makes great structural members. I just love the quarter sawn look of it in these bowls. So let me just show you that again in this one larger bowl. So this is the whoa, look at that. I'm right in the way, Todd. If we kind of zoom in a little bit there, these Rayfleck patterns, these ones that are going absolutely perpendicular to the grain, is what I love. And then in the other wood, it turns into these fleck patterns. So it's just a fantastic looking, and most oaks have this kind of pattern. Bur oak, I think, is in the white oak family. I've turned red oak, but it's fairly chippy, I guess, or brittle, more so than the white oaks. So, all right, we're here. Let's zoom out. Let's take a look at a few tool rests. First of all, I'll show you what I have that I use almost 70-80% of the time. And this is a standard robust comfort rest. It has that sort of sweeping arc to it. Long post for my robust lathe, and 1-inch post thickness. Most of these, all of these, I've got some mini lathe tool rests I'll show. I put this collar on it. This helps me just kind of, this is the lowest I ever go. It's a bit high for a 5/8 bowl gouge, but I can make it work. But I'm usually using the 1/2-inch bowl gouge. And then when I'm roughing out, it's fine for a 5/8. So that means this height of tool rest is works generally for me. If I need to do some scraping, I'll raise it up a little bit. And we'll show that in a bit. So that one, I've got a smaller version of it and a larger version of it. And I believe, oops, it's off the screen. I believe this one comes with the, if you buy an American Beauty or a robust lathe, I think you get a rest, you get a comfort rest with it. And so that's the one that came with it. I haven't used it very much. It's a little bit long for my liking. And one of the other ones I have hanging around is this rest, which is another 6-inch rest. Let me just put these two off to the side a little bit. Same length as this. What was that, 9-inch? Maybe, I don't know. It probably is. Looks about more than 6. It had 9. This is the new shear scraping rest. So the shear scraping rest came out, let's say last year and a half ago, thereabouts. And you can see the profile difference. This is one thing we talked about on the phone with that customer that bought that J rest, is how to do some shear scraping. And so this rest sits up much more upright, so it allows you to drop your handle quite a bit more. One of the solutions maybe I'll show is using a comfort rest for doing shear scraping. Just raise the rest up and shear scrape on a higher arc of the bowl. So those are the 4 that kind of sit around close to me. Over here, I've got a couple others that sit up on my board. Just putting those back. Let's see. I have. Let's show some other more standard sort of rests. Here's the little J rest that from Robust that we see in this picture. So this is a 9-inch J rest, and if I show, what do I have? Picture in picture. That's too zoomed in. 1 second. There we go. So that's the sort of J rest that you see in that picture below. And it's the 9-inch version. There is a 14-inch version, a much bigger one of that. This is very handy for getting in those inside of the bowls and maybe in some large hollow forms and stuff like that. So that's that one. All right, there we go. This one is a Robo Rest. So this is by Robo Hippie, or somebody remind me of his name again. Anyway, you'll type it in the chat. Somebody I know whoever that is. But this is one of his rests, and I bought this before he stopped making them a couple of years ago. And I've got his grinder platform as well. So kind of handy little things. Fun to do. Let me just check. There's Gonzalo, good to have you here. Thank you for joining all the way from California. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining. And Greg, Big Island Engraving makes them for bowls. Oh, okay. I've seen Emiliano use those and stuff. Steve Thomas and my friend, Robust Tool Rests are the best. I do agree. They stand by their product. I did have a tool rest years ago where the drill rod, I think it was one of these. I actually dropped this one on the cement and this drill rod popped out. They now weld them in. They did used to glue them in. So now there might be epoxy. It looks like they're epoxied in now. So, or maybe did I do that? I can't. But anyway, if you have a problem with your tool rest, Robust, Brent and team over there will take care of you for sure. Reed Gray, thank you. I knew somebody, but I couldn't quite remember the name of Robo Hippie. So he was making a few products years ago. Yes, thank you, Greg and Cindy. Appreciate it. Yeah. Anyway, so this is one of his. I don't use it very often. But it is fairly straight up and down, so you can do a lot of good shear scraping with it. This goes kind of like the J rest here in terms of its. Oh, I hit that button. Sorry. I'll take that off there. About the same sort of idea, and then adds this little back curve to it. So if you actually did want to turn it around and get a curve around the outside of the bowl, you could do that a little bit there. So that was good. And also this kind of comes around to the rim of the bowl on the inside. So this is a big bowl. That's why I don't use it too often. I'm not doing too many big bowls. Let me put that back over here. And the last one on the platform here is another manufacturer, still around. Steve Sinner makes this guy. I bought this last year at the Rocky Mountain Woodturning Symposium. So Steve will be there again this year. So if you get up to Colorado, I think he's going to be at SWAT. Get out to see Steve Sinner. I think he's got his, maybe his son-in-law helping him manufacture stuff now. So great rest. Cindy uses this one quite a bit. She calls it the finial rest, but it's basically a 6-inch offset rest. So if you're doing something where you kind of need to have finger access behind it and stuff like that, so that's the kind of rest you have there. So I don't use it too often, but every once in a while when you're doing some small stuff that you need access to the end, then that's what you can use. So here's now I'll show one other rest before we get to some of the oddball stuff. Well, this one is oddball too anyway. So this is an irons tool gate. It's a tool rest with this gated feature here that's on by a safety pin, clevis pin, not a clevis pin. Oh, Cindy, remind me what that is again now. I can't quite remember. One of those things. Anyway, you can move this around. You can take that pin out, move this to any spot you need, get in your hollow form, you rest your tool on there and it swivels and stuff like that. So that is particularly made it's made by Woodcut. It's got irons on it for fill irons. He kind of spearheaded the design of this thing for Woodcut. And it is made for mostly using the Proform tool, hollowing tools. You can use it for other stuff, scrapers or that kind of thing, handheld, inside hollow form. So very handy for that kind of thing if you've got your tool in there and you need to swivel it around. I used it just the other day to do this little guy. This is one of my hopefully surviving oak pieces, but I don't know. I've already seen a couple of cracks in it. So here's a rough out end grain turned oak, that bur oak stuff. There's 2 cracks down here that are, they were a bit more open than they are now. So it's starting to close up. It's starting to go ovoid. I really don't know if I'll be able to second turn this. The black staining is from a piece. Look at how oval that went. That tenon is majorly out of whack. And let me just brighten that picture up a little bit here. Wrong way, Todd. All right. There we go. So there you can see how oval that is, almost egg-shaped, this tenon now. So, but the black staining is from a spike that was in this branch of tree. And I think I showed some social media. I keep hitting this thing down here that's clicking on things. Of the back to my train of thought. The black is from staining from a piece of iron, some steak or nail or something that was in it. Ruined a bandsaw blade on me. But I showed some posts of this turning, at least after it was done. The black and brown ribbons of shavings that came off. So this was done with a Proform tool, hollowed out with this guy in front of it. So just zoom that back out again. So yeah, that's kind of how that was set up so I could maneuver in there. So that's kind of a specialist tool rest. Here, I'll put this one up. Somebody tell me if they know what that tool rest is from. And this is a quiz that will win you nothing but bragging rights here today. So let's see, cotter pin, is that right? Pin retainer is called a hairpin cotter pin. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I was calling clevis pin, but that's a shackle idea. So cotter pin was the one. Ding, ding, ding. Thank you, Greg, and Brian and Cindy. She had to Google it. I didn't know. Yeah, I wasn't sure either. So this is what you need to think about next. It's rather rusty. I haven't used it in quite a while. There are a couple of Allen head screws in there. Yep, Cindy's got it. Ding, ding, ding. It is. I gotta use my mouse way over there. Don Derry's rest. Yep. So this is a tool rest for Don Derry's captured square bar hollowing tool. I haven't seen Don on the circuit for about 10 years or 8 years or thereabouts, but Yes, Joe got it. Don Derry's tool rest. Perfect. So if you haven't seen some of Don's work, look him up, Don Derry. I think his website's still up, Don Derry Tools. And some beautiful work and stuff. Very sort of innovative sort of idea on hollowing small hollow forms. Things up to about 8, maybe 9 inches. All right, so here comes a solution from that I had for a customer that had a mini rest for a tool rest for mini lathe. And so I had a mini lathe years ago. I still have it, actually. It's just packed away over there in a cabinet. And let me move these down. So this is a modular tool rest system that I think I got from Lee Valley. I believe Best Wood Tools makes one. Let me take that off. Click that again accidentally. And so this was a 5/8 inch. Don't know if I have the right Allen key out here for this, but we'll see if I do. Too big. I didn't plan on taking this one apart, so I don't think I have the tool rest, but what we have here is a piece of 1 inch tubing with a 5/8 inch hole in it. So you can buy this stuff already made and cut to length. These are about, well, let's measure, Todd. 6 inches? Yeah, 6 inch lengths of pipe that I ordered online and fit my tool rests fairly well, the posts. And then I just drilled and tapped a couple of holes for set screws, a little off center. I'm not a machinist, so, but it works. And so we've got a box tool rest that is a part of the modular system. So these are threaded. These are a great solution if you have a small lathe and you want multiple tool rests. And we've got threaded on a 6 inch rest. There's a 9 inch rest, and then inside and outside curves on these. I think these look like 1/2 inch by 20 threads. I'm not quite sure though. I think they might be actually metric from Lee Valley, probably M12s or something. There we go. So now you've got a inside outside rest. So if you do have a mini lathe and you graduate to a larger lathe, you know, this is a great solution. And simple homemade stuff. You don't need a lot. Just buy these already cut at 6 inch lengths. You can get them online Metals, I think, and a few other places to find them. And then just drill and tap a couple of holes. That doesn't take too much work to do. And you've got a tool post that will hold any of your 5/8 tool rests. So that was a good conversation I had a couple of weeks ago with a gentleman. And I said, well, why don't you do that? So he liked that idea. So hopefully he's going to go through it. So that is, I think, all the tool rests that I have. What kind of tool rests do you guys use or want to use? So let me put this down. I want to show the shear scraping rest in sort of use, I guess, or how it might be used. Do I have a bowl? I'll look around for a bowl blank, but maybe we'll just pretend. So let's first put on or take a look at this tool rest, and let's see if I've got that in shot. I do. Maybe a little wider. So there is the tool rest. This is the comfort rest, and you can see how the locking collar takes it down to where I need it. I do have, this is a rough out bowl. I haven't even provided it or done anything to it yet. This is a bowl core. I can see it's way out around. But we'll kind of get the idea here with looking at shear scraping. And I'll do a little bit of both. picture in picture here. So if I was to take a bowl gouge, let's just take this big one with a handle just to kind of see. If I want to do some shear scraping here, typically this might get in the way. The way this comfort rest is built. So trying to get up and down, this is going to be fine for this one, but at some point it may get in the way with a larger bowl or something like that. So you kind of have that problem where this bottom part hits your tool rest. So let me zoom this one out just a bit more. I think that needs to be brightened up a bit more. Bear with me. We'll go to 640. There we go. That's all right. Oops. All right. Changing the ISO on the overhead camera. It's a bit bright on my hand, but I want to get you to see down here a bit more. So that is one of the problems. If we swap that out, we'll hold this kind of side by side. There's that one. There's the shear scraping rest. We're going to have a bit more easy time with it. And then I'll switch back and I'll show you a solution. So stick this one in, roughly the same height. And now we can get this handle way a lot lower. It would be about there on that previous one, but we can get a lot lower here. So that's why the shear scraping rest came out from Robust, so they could have that sort of tool access behind here. And so the other option, if you have the comfort rest, I'll put that back in. If you're at, this is kind of at center height when you got a tool up there, so that is sitting right at center. If your handle gets in the way or this bottom part gets in the way, raise your tool rest, and then instead of shear scraping down here, shear scrape up here. So now you can shear scrape up here, no problem. So that is one way to go about it. This bowl is not ready to turn that way yet. So, but that would be how you'd kind of shear scrape up here. So raising the tool rest means instead of cutting at this point in the bowl, you're going to cut up here on the bowl. So that's all it means is cutting higher. And when you're shear scraping, that's perfectly fine. You're going to have a bit more momentum back towards you. Let me do this way, sort of back towards you rather than down. So, be aware that the push of having that tool rest up a bit higher and scraping up here, it's going to push back this way more than down this way. So, but it's still the same idea. Just scraping like that. And I don't have a ready turn bowl for you to do that. So that's shear scraping and shear scraping rest. Of course, you could use one of these T-bar rests, right, from your mini lathe. These are great because they do kind of automatically kind of get out of the way. And there's that post I bought online working already. So cutting just a little bit too high. Almost on center right there, so that's good. And now I've got clear control all the way down to maneuver this handle wherever I need it. So if I'm shear scraping, then that is good to go. So I don't have any barriers with a bar like this. So I do like these rests. I don't use them that often though, because they just don't hang out here enough. I should get them out a bit more often. This J rest actually does the job fairly well as well. The problem being that the J is a little bit of a different shape. And get that out of the way. Raise this up. So now the J is kind of has to go behind here for shear scraping. Let me see if I'm at height. Probably what center height there. This handle is now in the way, the latch handle. So I can get back here and shear scrape and up here, the front, where I have to drop the handle quite a bit more. As I get further away, my handle drops, and so I'm clear here down below. So this is a good shear scraping rest. It's just the shape kind of is a bit weird for shear scraping, but it works for the other application, which is inside the bowl. So this is really quite an attractive solution for getting inside the bowl. And I'm going to change camera angles here. Let's do that one. I think that's the one. So here I can get all the way over and cut inside the bowl with my tool rest close to the work all the way through. So I'm only overhanging maybe an inch or so, right? So so that's pretty good. Let me just see how focused that is. That one. There we go. That's a bit better. All right, so that gets around cutting the whole bowl by maintaining a overhang on the tool by only about an inch, versus if we did that with my standard rest I use most of the time here. Drop that right down. I can get my tool rest in like that. I'm clearing down here all the way around. So I'm close here. I'm only an inch overhanging here. But when I get to the bottom, I'm now overhanging about 2.5 inches. With a nice big 5/8 gouge, that's not a big deal. So that's how I'd go about it. I can get in a bit tighter here. If I move the tool rest, angle it a bit that way, then I can get a little bit that. And that perfectly shows why Brent made this sort of sweeping curve, is that it does get inside most tool rests and gives support. One of the things you'll find with a bar post like this, long post, actually this one would show it off just even a bit better, is that if you are putting a heavy load, and let me switch back to this other camera, might be a little easier to kind of show. If you are putting a heavy load out here, then you do have more vibration because you're now cantilevered over the post quite a bit. So if you are taking heavy cuts on a, keep your most of your weight right over top of the post in this area. If you're going out to the edge, just be aware you might see more vibrations through the tool rest than you will. And certainly true for something this big where you're hanging way off over here. It's going to be a lighter cut. And just know that you might have some vibrations from the tool rest. And let's see how that one fits in. This is a big old rest, and you can see how. And when Reed designed this one, Reed Gray, he sloped the back of the rest facing away from us, so that it does the same thing as the robust rest. Under here, it slips inside the bowl and does not cause any. Let me get this angle. So we've got some clearance. It's sloping this way the same way the bowl is sloping there. So you're able to get it in closer and stuff like that. So this rest works well, but if I zoom this out all the way, you can just barely see the edge of the post on the edge of the screen. So I'm out there good 6 inches off the main support of the tool rest. So so this is for big bowls. I probably wouldn't use it on this little bowl, but a great solution nonetheless. Can I use the other side? That's a good question. I was asking myself. Nope. So here's the reason why, because now the slope is going towards the bowl wall, and I can't get it inside there and still have this close. So can't really use it reverse there, but this works on the outside. So now on the outside, if I switch overhead, you can see that I now have a good sort of curve on this guy here. So that works well here. Nice form there. So I could use that. I'm a little high with that tool rest there. But I can't, wouldn't really use the inside, the long side of this on this bowl. Questions, let's see. Let's see. What about, that didn't show. There we go. Well, Lyle's adjustable tool rest for hollowing. Yes, I do have that one. I wasn't planning to bring it out, but can I? Shall I? No. It's kind of down there. It's a huge beast of a thing. And so, but yeah, that's another tool rest. It's actually a tool rest for the back of the rig. Lyle does have a tool rest with a threaded post. So I'll look at my standard tool rest here. He has a tool rest that has a threaded post and a nut on it. So instead of using this thing, which is fixed, he just turns the nut to raise and lower his tool rest. And that's a handy thing. I don't have one. Maybe I'll get one at SWAT when he's down there. Or Mike is down there. I don't know if is Lyle coming to SWAT? I don't know. But so you can basically just trying to get the proper view. You can basically look at this threaded Lyle's tool rest as a threaded nut here. You tighten that up, and then it raises your rest up. You loosen it, you can lower your rest. And so that's a good solution as well. Okay, Cindy, thank you for that. Lyle won't be at SWAT, but Obi will. Okay, we'll see Mike there for sure. Did I show a box rest? I did. I did show a box rest. I didn't really talk about it a whole lot, but there's a box rest. So this would be a box rest. It is a box rest that is on a mini post, 5/8 inch post that I've adapted to a 1-inch post. And so that would be able to get in if you're doing a box. And I will say the robust tool rest allows me to get pretty close to over top of the center of the lathe. Not quite. Robust does make a box rest that has a bit of a dog leg on it. And I think they make a tool post adapter with a dog leg on it to get your tool out a bit further. So, or your post to the center of the rest a bit more. So, yep, Cindy's right again. Let's see, what does Greg say here? I have Ron Brown's hollowing stabilizer. It has its specific uses. Yeah, there are some sort of specialized tools. Let me just drop that for a second. And change that view. There are some specialized rests. Did I get off track on my thoughts? Yes, stabilizer rest. Thank you. Specialized rest systems that fit into the banjo, the tool post holder, that allow you to stabilize your tool. I think, was it Crown makes, no, Carter Products makes one, Ron Brown makes one. I think Crown Products makes one. So those are very good if you need the tool at one sort of level attitude or level position, and not having the tool go up and down this way. So if you're using a carbide tool to hollow, that would be a good solution. Just raise that up a little bit and get in there. So these are meant mostly for, I do have a scraper, but it's not handled. So if I have a box and I'm using a flat scraper tool, maybe this one might show this a bit better, then I can kind of use that rest and then get support for that scraper right out at the tip, right? So instead of having support only back here, right? And having that tool overhang, good 3 inches, 4 inches, I can use the box rest and get it in close to the center and have support right up on the tool where I need it. So that is a good way to kind of get into inside boxes if this was a smaller opening. Even can do it here, right? So yeah, box rests are definitely a thing that can be used. I know a local club member that built his own huge sort of box rest, but he's doing 36, 50-inch hollow spheres, and so he's got this huge monstrosity of a rest. Anyway, it's yeah, so you can get wild and crazy with how, if you want to build your own. So another question here. Robust has a box rest. Bestwood Tools has one with threaded post. Yeah, it's kind of very similar to this one, Greg. Or Cindy. And I think I got that one from what did I say? Lee Valley. So years and years ago. So let's see. Simple wood turning tools now makes a box rest in 5, 7, and 9-inch lengths with assorted post length as well. Good to know, Jim. I don't know simple wood turning tools that well. Gonzalo Lyle's threaded post is awesome. Oh, good. You've got one. That's good. Yeah, I think I'll have to pick one up. So Greg says, yeah, Sorbet makes one also. One of those stabilizer rests like Carter products like Ron Brown that he had mentioned before. All right. Well, that's good. Let's see where we're at with time. I've got 9 minutes. So I've got this bowl on here, and I've got it held on with a very small tenon. So this was I'll just finish this one up or kind of get it ready. What I did with it is it's a bowl rough out. I mounted it this way, put a tailstock center right there, and I just scraped this tenon and a flat here so I could hold it in a chuck. I'm basically going to do the same thing on the inside, and then turn it around again to get the final foot on this thing. I don't have a lot of material here, so we shall see make sure we don't go too thin. So first thing I want to do is really get a recess cut on the inside here. This is very much like Richard Raffin does. I've been watching a lot of his videos, but there's really no other way to kind of, when I had this turned around, there's no way I could finish the foot. So I have to be able to hold it other way. You could use cold jaws and true this up on the outside and use cold jaws to hold it and then turn the foot off. But this is turning around a couple of times to kind of get it set where you need it, or make a recess on the inside to hold it temporarily while you finish the foot off, and then create turn around holding that recess in here, create the final foot, which is what I'll quickly do here. So since I have it on the lathe already, I might as well do that. So it is out of round, but I should have a pretty good shot here. With an expansion, I'm going to go a little bit wider than what I've done on the outside here. Let me put picture in picture up there. So I've got a tenon here. I'll put an expansion chuck a little bit wider here, and we'll go from there. I'll put my safety glasses on. We'll do a little bit of turning here, and then ask questions away. I'll pop back up with more answers or help if I have it. I didn't talk about Greg says, I preferred cast iron rest for roughing and hardened rest for finishing cuts. Interesting. So cast iron does have a little bit more shock absorbency than hardened steel. I will also say one thing I didn't really go through is keeping your rest tuned up. So that's probably another good topic maybe to talk about, but maybe not today. I've got a little bit of sandpaper here. Just rubbing this with a bit of sandpaper gets off some surface grime. I've been turning oak, and it is very green and wet and sticky, and has a lot of tannins in it, so it tends to make my tool rest kind of sticky. So what I would do is sand that, clean it off, and what I don't have handy or behind the curtain is a little bit of wax, and I'd wax that up. So, but we'll go with just a cleaned out for now. I've got a little skew here. I'm going to cut a little recess back in there. I could use that J rest here, but and maybe I will just because I have it. Just up a little bit, maybe. And what does this show? That shows pretty good, so maybe we'll go there. All right, so let's see, speed, power's on, speed on. Kind of eyeballing where I'm going to cut just a little sort of dovetail groove for these jaws. These are about 62 on the outside. I have my little cheat sheet here. Outside, 60 millimeters on the outside, but I'm just going to guess. All right, speed up a little bit. Tool on the tool rest, kind of looking where I'm cutting. So just a little dovetail, doesn't need a whole lot. I just want to make sure I'm getting a cut all the way around. It's a little thin on the one side, so I might go just a little bit deeper. I got a 1/4 inch there to play with. Not very high speed at this point because I don't need it. So why do it? And am I going to be able to grip that? This is a nice thing about having sort of cone-shaped jaws here is, oops, wrong way, Todd, is I should be able to get, nope, I was going, and I might have to use my other jaw set, other chuck. Oh, it wasn't on. There we go. I think that's got it. My slides are protruding about 1/8 of an inch, but I think I'm on there nice and safely. I should, before I do anything. Let's take a look here. See how much I got. I don't have a whole lot to make a foot. I'll make a foot right where that land is, I think. So clean all that off. And that would be probably right enough. I do have my LED light. I'm going to put back here, just double check, make sure I'm in where I need to be. Yep. All right. This is Cindy's little LED micro light sitting here. Very handy to have to look in the backside of the bowl. Don't want to over crank that too much. Wrong tool rest now. What do I have handled up? I've got a big 5/8 inch gouge. That's what I have. Eyeglasses. Speed down. And this is, I can also get to the outside of the bowl, the whole access, the outside. So I'll probably do that while it's here. And that way I can finish the whole outside of the bowl in this sitting. So. $1,200 RPM thereabout. Just lightly taking off that little tenon that was sticking out there. This might be a bit big of a tool. Let me get up this other 1/2 inch gouge. This is what I said about my, let's see, do I have it here? With my lock nut here, or this collar, locking collar, this is lowest the rest will go. And with my 5/8 gouge, I'm just a little bit above center. So I have to kind of point the tool down quite a bit to get to center, but it's perfect for a 1/2 inch gouge. So I'm right on center with a 1/2 inch gouge. So that's where I say, sometimes there's blessings and curses with these things, but most of the work I do with a 1/2 inch gouge anyway. And if I'm doing something big, I'll use another rest. That. Couple little design. Double check to make sure I'm undercut. I am, so that's good. So we got a foot. This is Bradford pear, by the way, just for your information. So now we can cut our bowl outside. I might have to leave a. I need to measure that. I want that to be the final tenon. I might have to actually take that down. What was this guy again? 50 inside, 50 millimeter tenon. So, oops. And I'm a bit shy, so I don't think I can grip it with these jaws. Can I grip it with other jaws? Looking at this little Nova Chuck, which I think has slightly smaller. Yeah, it's 42. So I did 50. I can actually go a little bit smaller on this tenon and grip it with this chuck here. So that is going to require a spindle adapter, which I have because this is a 1x8. But we're going to use that one because that is, how much do I need to take off? Just a millimeter. All right. So we'll take off this millimeter, cut that with a, these have a bird's beak on it, so I'm going to leave it kind of square. Slight dovetail. I'm just going to roll over that end of that dovetail. So it looks like a nice foot. Actually, I'm just going to bevel it. Now we can cut the outside. All right. No, you can't see anything, can you? Silly Todd. Let me go back to here and picture in picture. Let me zoom that in a bit. Bring you over a bit. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So back bevel on. Catch that cut right there. Looking at the opposite side to see my depth of cut is consistent, because it's very thin up here at the wings. So I'll take a lighter pass. Little or no pressure on the wood. Did we get all the way around? We did. All right. Not bad. I got a bit of a lump right here I'm going to take care of right now. We'll leave that sort of transition on purpose. Smooth that lump out. Not bad. We'll do some shear scraping on that. Where's my tool? I got my half round bar. I don't have it in a handle. I'm just going to be using it fairly gently up the side here. And I'm going to turn my dust collector on. So if I can't get this guy to collect a little bit of stuff. Okay, that feels pretty good to me. The curve looks okay. It's a very slow curve. I could sand here, but I think I'll just not do that. And I just want to double check that my chuck is going to work. Yep, that'll work. There we go. We'll put that there. We'll take this one off. Now I'd go through and sand this. I'd leave that on there and sand this up, but I'm not going to bother sanding this one. It's just sort of a demonstration piece. And that chuck down. Spindle adapter. Commit to a depth and go all the way. Well, that's what I got the inside for. Now we can use that J-rest to its full potential. All right. Okay. Colin, good to have you here. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Haven't seen or heard from you for a while. Hopefully I'll see you in SWAT. Let me turn this dust collector off. I'm fighting with that. Shoulder and pick, yeah. Saw that. Drop frames in the audio. Does anyone else hear that? My audio is still bouncing, so I'm still okay. Good now, good now. It might be a internet glitch. Larry, good to have you here. Thank you. It should read cut. I don't know what that means. Let me know what you mean. Oh, commit to a depth of it and go all the way. That should read cut. Cut to the depth of it. Okay. I think that's what he meant. But we've got a little transition down here and on the bottom side, tenon that the foot's going to sit on. And then we'll do the rim here. And so I should do the rim first. I'm going to take this rest out. Go right here first for the rim. I'm just sloping the rim up a little bit, so I'm taking a bit off the bottom of the rim, or the outside of the rim, and coming up to the inside. Okay, so that looks good. We've got not a whole lot of material where that recess was cut, so we'll be sure to not go any much deeper than that. All right, so now I got to reach over this way and cut all the way down. I may just get rid of that middle nub first. And where is that hitting? Right here. Pictures. Yeah, this is weird with this. I can't really, there's a bit more light. Can't really get the light up and in there, so. I don't use this rest a whole lot, so it's kind of new for me at this point, basically. Rest is up just a little high. Only got an 8-inch handle on this gouge. I think that's all I need, but we'll see. Recess I ran into. Come back, take a little bit more. Recess is gone. Bottom bowl gouge would work, or a scraper. A little bit higher on that. Let's see if this curve, I don't know if this curved scraper will work in here, but and looking all right. This curve is just about the same shape as the bottom of the bowl. Not too bad. A little lumpy right in here. I can take one more cut there. I do have a bottom bowl gouge, but I don't think I sharpened it. I'm not going to, oh, it doesn't hurt, but Just showing you don't need all the speed. You just need to match your speed of the lathe with the speed of your cut. Make a nice sort of smooth cut. We'll change my shear scraper to teardrop to right there. Drop this rest now because of my thicker bar. So this is a shear scraper, a single beveled scraper, but I'm holding it at an angle. So it's a shear scraping cut. Out here we're getting some bounce. So fingers are getting a bit warm. Got some foam back sandpaper. I'll just hold the foam side. All right. That's a bit screechy. That might do with sanding. That feels pretty good. Nice smooth curve. I'm liking that. I do have one bump right out in here where these tool marks are. We'll leave that. We'll do some power sanding. But that is a bowl turned. Where's this one? From rough. Nova's the opposite way. To finished bowl. So there we go. That could do with a bit of hand sanding, of power sanding. I can still mount it. My chuck mark is that way. The chuck is tenon is sized, so there's no marks left on it. So I can rechuck this easily and not have a problem with it. There's no dents in it and stuff, so we're good to go. So does it sit flat? That's always the ultimate test, right? Yes. Overhead. There it is, way down there, all fuzzy. That's it, folks. I wasn't planning to do that much turning on the live stream today, but there we go. Let me just find this. Auto that. If you have any questions, give me a shout. Don't forget, next week is our sharing session. Check that out. Check out the SWAT Symposium and the Rocky Mountain Symposium. And everybody have a wonderful weekend. Olympics watching over the next 3 weeks, 18 days, whatever it is. And then SWAT. So have fun. We'll check you out later. And let's see, I got a question here. Volume is cutting in and out. That's weird. I hope my batteries are still okay because I'm still showing stuff here. Let's see. Gonzalo, on thin bowls, do you leave a little more thickness at the bottom so it doesn't tip over easily? Yeah, if it's a functional bowl, certainly Gonzalo, but this one, this one's got such a small foot on it. I don't know how functional it will be. It can hold stuff for sure, but it's about 3/16 all the way through now at this point. So, and at the bottom, at the very bottom, it's probably same. I think it's about the same all over here. So it should be fine. This is Bradford Parrot. Has been drying for 5 months, so it should be good to go. Anyway, yeah, a bigger bottom, I think, for functional bowls, at least 1/3 to 1/2, I would say. For functional bowls would be a good rule of thumb. This one is probably 1/4 of the diameter. So anyway, good question. Oops, wrong thing. Lost my things. Good show. Thank you. Thank you, Steve, for showing up. I appreciate it. Say hi to Anne. Hope everything's okay there. Cindy, thanks for coming. Enjoyed it, everybody. I'm sorry the audio. I'll read this or watch this back and see what the audio technical issue was, and we'll go from there. Take care. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now. And the stream. There we go.